This is another sign of the times, an analysis and a commentary. U.S. pushes to cut emissions of some pollutants. Impatient with the slow pace of international climate change negotiations, a small group of countries, led by the United States, is starting a program to reduce emissions of common pollutants that contribute to rapid climate change and widespread health problems. The plan will address short-lived pollutants like soot, also referred to as black carbon, methane, and hydrofluorocarbons that have an outsized influence on global warming, accounting for 30 to 40% of global warming. Soot from diesel exhausts and the burning of wood, agricultural waste, and dung for heating and cooking causes an estimated 2 million premature deaths a year, particularly in the poorest countries. Scientists say that concerted action on these substances can reduce global temperatures by 0.5 degrees Celsius by 2050 and prevent millions of cases of lung and heart disease by 2030. This is very much in the win-win category. Good on climate at the same time that it's good on health, food production, and energy, said Todd D. Stern, the State Department's special envoy for climate change. It's not a negotiation over who takes what targets, he said, but a voluntary partnership aimed at producing tangible results in a relatively short period of time. The United States intends to contribute $12 million and Canada $3 million over 2 years to get the program off the ground and to help recruit other countries to participate. The United Nations Environment Program will run the project. Officials hope that by tackling these fast-acting, climate-changing agents, they can get results quicker than through the laborious and highly political negotiations conducted under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, or UNFCCC. That process, involving more than 190 nations, grinds on year after year with incremental political progress, but little real impact on the climate. At the most recent United Nations Climate Summit meeting in Durban, South Africa, negotiators agreed to try to produce a binding global climate change treaty by 2015 to take effect after 2020. Many scientists say that irreversible damage to the atmosphere will be done before then. Soot, methane, and hydrofluorocarbons, which are used in foam and refrigerants, have a short lifespan in the atmosphere, measured in weeks or years. By contrast, carbon dioxide, the primary cause of climate disruption, persists in the atmosphere for thousands of years, and its effects are much more difficult to mitigate. Researchers have identified about a dozen ways to significantly control black carbon and methane emissions. Soot can be reduced by installing filters on diesel engines, replacing traditional cook stoves with more efficient models, modernizing brick kilns, and banning the open burning of agricultural waste. Methane can be captured from oil and gas wells, leaky pipelines, coal mines, municipal landfills, wastewater treatment plants, manure piles, and rice paddies. The new initiative will provide money for developing countries to reduce short-acting pollutants and will try to raise additional public and private funds for new mitigation projects. Drew T. Schendel, a senior climate scientist at NASA's Goddard Institute on Space Studies, said that attacking short-lived climate agents could have immediate impacts. From a political point of view, he said, what's really appealing about these measures is that a lot of the benefits are realized by those that take the action. If you reduce these emissions in the developing world, it's the developing world that gets most of the benefits by stabilizing rainfall and improving public health. The president of the Institute for Governance and Sustainable Development said that the initiative, if expanded and adequately financed, would would have more impact on the climate than the United Nations climate change negotiations, at least in the near term. This is a formal declaration that we're opening a second front in the climate war. He also said he has been agitating for action on fast-acting climate change agents for years. We'd be fools to count on the UNFCCC for our salvation, though I wish it well, he said. This is a complement, not a substitute. In other words, something is better than nothing. This, too, is another sign of the end of times as we know them, transition days, which is a time of extraordinary happenings, events, and changes. Everything that must change quickly or rapidly, and for the better, because it's about what kind of world are we leaving to the future generations, and that should be a very important question to ask. Luke chapter 21, verse 29. And he spoke to them a parable. Behold the fig tree, and all the trees. 30. When they now shoot forth, ye see and know of your own selves that summer is now near at hand. 31. So likewise ye, when ye see these things coming to pass, know ye that the kingdom of God is near at hand. 32. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away, until all be fulfilled. 33. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. 34. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with partying and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. 35. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. 36. Watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that are coming to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. Yes, it's time for the manifestation of prophecy. Everything is connected, and everything is numbered. It's also called fate or destiny, and all these are more signs.